guys, it's Kevin again, and in this video I'm going to be reviewing to Awkward, Season 3, Episode 12, called And Then What Happened. And I really like the title that is just And Then What Happened, because, I mean, we all were very stunned at the ending last week. We didn't know what was going to happen next. And I like the way they did this episode. Basically, in this episode, it starts off normally. Most of this episode is actually, us figuring out what happened the day after. So this episode basically takes place the day after that. If you guys did not see the last episode, Jenna and Collin, agreed to be friends. They went into her party. She didn't think anyone was going to be there. She thought everyone was going to be home alone. All her friends decided to surprise her. And then at that exact moment, Jenna and Collin kissed, and Maddie saw it. So this episode takes place a day after that, where we basically see Jenna basically locked herself, it looked like in a closet. It didn't even look like she was in a room. It looked like she was in a closet. And her, her mother is doing anything she can to try to help Jenna, but Jenna just won't come out. Apparently she's been ditching school, and Valerie is also very concerned about her, and Valerie kind of has her on speakerphone, basically, and has her mother on speakerphone, and not on speakerphone, but she has like a headset, and she's telling her mother what's going on, and all Valerie cares about is Jen and Maddie back together, and it's not just Valerie, that's what all of Jenna's friends want to know. So then we basically see that the most of this episode actually takes place where we see Ming and Jake and Tamara and all of them, and Sadie and Lissa and even Clark in there, all talking about what happened the day before. So first we see Ming and Jake around the table, and they're kind of like, what's going on here? Jenna's not answering my calls, and Jake said that Tamara's not answering his calls. They don't know what's going on, and they start talking, basically, and Ming basically thinks that, Jen and Maddie are pretty much over, and that's what she pretty much thinks, and that she thinks that Maddie hit Collin, but then Jake says, oh, no, that's not the case. Jenna hit Collin because he saw that someone, a girl hit him after, and Maddie suspects it's Jenna, but we get to one of the best parts of the episode. We found out it was not Jenna who hit Collin, it was Tamara. It was Tamara who hit Collin, and that scene when she hit Collin was so funny. I love the way that happened. Basically, she found out that, Collin was, was near Jen and everything, and, at this point, we didn't really know what was going on with Maddie. We don't find out later, what was going on with him. But we see that basically Collin was talking to Jen and everything, and Tamara she can't take it. She punches, Collin in the face, and Collin's like, you broke my nose, and she's like, well, you broke my BFF, and I love that whole scene, because she's like, do you know how long I've expected to do that? Do you know how long I've wanted that to happen my whole life? You ruined my life. And I thought that was really funny. We see that her hand, actually, from punching Collin, got all puffed up. She had to have hand surgery, that's why she wasn't answering Jake's calls. Very funny scene. I thought that was a very funny scene. One of the funniest scenes of the episode was definitely that scene. Definitely was a big reveal, and it was definitely a great reveal because it really shows how great of a friend Tamara is for Jenna, and also how hilarious Tamara can be. I mean, she really is just hilarious. She gets funnier every episode. So at this point, the three of them pretty much think that, Maddie and Jenna are done, but then Fred Wu comes in and says, oh, no, they're not done, because he said he saw Maddie, going through a door, and I love this whole scene. It was very funny, where basically, oh, and by the way, everyone kept talking about things in this episode that doesn't matter. That's like a recurring theme, where they're talking about things that they were doing in the episode, and they're like, oh, no, skip ahead, that doesn't matter. That was really funny. But with Fred, basically, he saw Maddie exiting through a door, and it's, they automatically thought it was Jenna's back door, but we find out that Fred does not know his right from his left, and, that was really funny and everything, and then, that happens, so we basically see that we don't really know what's going on with Maddie here, and then, who comes in next? Oh, well, we also find out that Fred was part of this, pinata thing that Valerie was trying to set up. We basically found out that Valerie was just trying to make this a good party, and so she says, okay, so this happened, and she made Fred, do, a pinata thing, and the pinata wasn't working. It was a very, very funny scene. I really loved it. I thought that was definitely one of the funniest parts of the episode. And, then he says how, she's, Valerie's racist, and Clark comes in and says, and then Clark comes in, very unexpectedly, Clark came in and says, who's racist? And they say Valerie. And then we found out what happened with Clark. Now, Clark at the time was, he had to go to the bathroom, but when he came back, he saw that Jenna, was crying in her room. He didn't know what was going on. And he says, oh, was a surprise too much for you to handle? And we see that Maddie came in, and he barge opens the door, and Clark basically says that Maddie started pacing, and he didn't know where he was going to go. So the big question now in everybody's mind is, where did Maddie go? And we found out that he went to Sadie. That's where he went. He went to Sadie's house, and I really love this scene. He went to Sadie's house where she comforted him. She gave him a hug and everything. And, honestly, this was a very big scene because I really think they're going to try to get Maddie and Sadie together now. I really think this could be happening. I think they're trying to set it up. Although, I would like them to just be friends. I don't really think on this show they're just going to stay friends. I would like that to happen, but I think they're at least going to try it out because I think it'd be cute to see that, and I always love their scenes together, and I thought they did some really great acting in that episode, and that scene was very intense, and I really loved it. So then after that, we see that Lissa comes in, and Lissa, she was actually just about to, and also we found out, by the way, the reason Tamara was not in that scene, in the surprise scene, was because she was a few minutes late. So that's why Tamara wasn't there at first, because she was a few minutes late. That's why she was in the whole surprise thing last week. We found out why. I was just going to say that because I forgot to say that. But we see that Lissa is coming, came there. She got her neck brace off, but Val ends up hitting her in the head, and she falls down. And then people stomp all over her, so now she has a neck brace again. So this girl just can't get a break. It was really funny the way that all worked. I just thought that was really funny. And then Sadie came in and everything. And then when Sadie leaves, she says, you're welcome. Yes, her first you're welcome in a very long time. I'm very happy about that because, Sadie and you're welcomes is kind of like her catchphrase, her trademark. You can't have Sadie without having the word you're welcome. So ultimately, this leads to them wanting to talk about something else, basically, and they decide to start talking about something else, and this ultimately leads to Jenna deciding, you know what, maybe I do have to talk to Maddie. So she decides that she does, and she goes to talk to Maddie, and he ends up asking her a couple questions that I thought were reasonable questions. He has a right to be upset with her, but he's actually not upset with her. He basically just says, so how long has it been going on? She says a couple days. He says, what was going on? He says, don't tell me. I really don't want to know. And he basically says, tell me that it's never going to happen again. And she says that. But then he basically says, I forgive you, but it's going to take me a little bit of time to forget about it. And she says, you don't have to forget about it. And she basically says that, and he basically says, can we continue the way we are? And she says, no, we can. So basically this leads to Jenna breaking up with Maddie. Am I surprised? No, I'm not surprised. Jenna made a bad move here. She cheated on Maddie, and she kissed Collin. She cheated on Maddie, and she really deserves to get, to break up with him. And she breaks up with him, but she basically says, let's break up with each other. And she says, because I know I'm not the girl that you thought I was when you first met me. And that was such an emotional scene. She gets out of the car. Maddie is bawling here. He's bawling, and that's how the episode ends, with them breaking up. It looks like now what's going to happen is, Jenna's going to get that whole makeover and everything, and I thought it was a really great episode. One of the things I love about this episode is we could have been for a really emotional episode. But because of the whole way they did this episode, with basically most of it surrounding what happened after the party, most of it about that, I thought that really helped because it could have been a really sad episode, but it wasn't until the very end. It looks like next week's episode there's like this barbecue going on and everything, and I really think now what's going to happen is that Jenna's going to try to be in a relationship with Collin, even though Collin started a fire. We found that out, that Collin basically started a fire of some sort. And, yeah, we found that out. But, I think it's definitely going to be very interesting. It also looks like this is just, she's going down a very bad, road, and it's not a good one. We're definitely going to see where this goes. And, as far as Maddie, I don't think he expected that to happen. I think he really just loves Jenna so much that he can never break up with her. So she was the one to break up with him. Honestly, I thought that, Maddie was going to break up with Jenna and be, like, furious about this, but then at this point, I think he's not going to, because he's just so in love with her that he can't imagine, he just can't break up with her because he's so in love with her. That's the problem, and he can't break up with her. So she knew what she had to do. She broke up with him. I think it was a very mature conversation, and the performances in that scene from both Bo Mitchell and Ashley Rickards were very, very great performances. I thought they both did a really, really great job. So yeah, this episode definitely, I really enjoyed it. I really liked what they did with this episode. Let me know what you guys saw this episode. Jen and Maddie breaking up. What's going to happen next with this? Is Maddie going to try to get back together with Jenna? Do you think Maddie's going to try a relationship with Sadie? What do you think is going to happen there? What do you think of the whole, do you think Jenna's going to try stuff with Collin? What do you guys think? That's it for this review. Hope you enjoyed it. Oh, also, did you like the comical tone of this episode? I thought it was very funny the way they did it. I definitely enjoyed that. And that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.